Hi, my name is Thomas Holland, and this is Throttle House. You're watching the One Track Mind track review series, where we take cars like these and test them properly on the track. Looky looky, the new Kia Stinger. For some reason, Kia decided to poach a few BMW engineers and build a 365 horsepower fastback sports sedan with a really cool key. And you know what? It looks good. This one has a rear-biased all-wheel drive system and a 3.3-liter twin-turbo V6, making 376 pound-feet of torque at 1,300 RPM. With Brembo brakes and sticky Michelin tires, it's set to lay down a pretty good performance on the track when Colin sets a lap time later. Now, why did we choose a Mustang to go up against it? Well, why not? They both cost as near as makes no difference $50,000 Canadian and are both serious performance cars. But the Stinger will have a tall mountain to climb, because this Mustang has the performance package and MagneRide suspension, which can adjust the dampers 1,000 times per second. And the owner has added some dealer-installed GT350 springs and wider Michelin PS4S tires. So cleverly, it's been spec'd out like Performance Package Level 2, which you otherwise couldn't get on the 10-speed Mustang. This one has the proper 460 horsepower 5-liter V8, so naturally, it's the one that everyone wants to be in when a drag race happens. Get in the Mustang. Thank you, sir. Because this is realistically the one that Colin should be in because he's a better drag racer than I am. Oh wait, this is an auto anyway. We don't care. This is a 10-speed.
Yeah, but getting it off the line is where my skill in
your skill set
is going to
your finesse. Okay.
Yes.
Because the Stinger's all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
So
it's got launch mode.
It's gonna win.
So it'll win off the line for sure.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
And then it's gonna win the race.
This thing is better at top end. We already figured that out from the
Stinger's gonna win the race.
So this thing might catch up at top end. I think it might, but I think it's gonna be close either way.
I have faith in the Kia Stinger. Okay.
Is that it literally goes from 7,000 to 6,000 RPM every shift.
If this was a manual, the Stinger would win.
I agree fully. And?
I still want the Stinger to win because I think I have faith in the all-wheel drive. It's down on power compared to this.
It is.
Like pretty significantly.
Power weight is definitely not going to win that battle.
But like the torque is accessible at 1,300 RPM in that thing.
Yeah.
Right? It's just bang, off the line, all-wheel drive, it's going to put the power down. I think the Stinger is going to win.
It'll be very close or the Mustang will pass at top end. That's what's going to happen. I think it might pass.
Stinger's going to win.
Thomas is wrong.
Now remember, this is the real world, an unprepped surface and an off-the-cuff race. Got launch control on, everything is good. Left foot on the brake. Thumbs up to the guy. There it is, and go. Come on. Oh, I smoked him off the line. And I am roasting him. Oh my God, he's catching me. Oh my God, he's catching me. And we're across the finish line. Boom!
Yeah, you and your technology and your fancy all-wheel drive and your turbos.
Whatever. Did you get a good launch?
So-so.
Okay, we're going to do it again because Colin still thinks
really
weirdly that the Mustang is going to win. He's talking right now and I'm ignoring him. What's that?
What was that?
What's that?
Boom.
Bye. All right, we're even going to switch sides just to make sure that one surface isn't prepped better than the other. All right, we're going to get the send-off, launch control, and bye-bye, Colin. This thing is just a missile off the line. And I am easily, comfortably, and safely winning this race. Just about hit a bird right there. And across the line. He's sullenly rolling up beside me. He's embarrassed to actually come all the way up. He's not quite, he's almost here. Oh, and there's Colin. Is that the face of defeat?
That is the face of not relying on modern technology and wizardry and cheating.
Cheating, he says.
The Stinger?
What, just because Kia decided to apply power to more than two wheels? Yeah.
Black magic.
Black magic.
Yeah, I tell you, off the line, there's nothing I can do.
There's nothing you can do.
I tried less throttle, more throttle. I get a good launch, but you can't keep up.
It just walks away.
But halfway down the quarter mile, I'm pulling you in fast. So
you are.
A mile, this thing would kill it. Quarter mile,
eventually the Mustang would walk past it, but on a quarter-mile drag race, Stinger walks it.
It's not enough room to catch up.
It's not.
It's not.
It is. You are catching up.
Oh, fast.
Just not
But
enough.
it's not enough room.
Yeah.
It's not. I can't do it.
All right.
Just to be sure, we ran the race several more times. Same result each time. Now before you attack the comment section, I know the Mustang has a quicker ideal quarter-mile time, but this is the reality of, well, reality. Rest assured though, the Mustang would take the Stinger on a roll any day of the week. Anyway, I parked the Stinger and stole the Mustang back from Colin to give it a proper shakedown on the track.
All right, so we have the 10-speed automatic in this, but Ford works some serious magic with this transmission. It's fast, it's responsive, it does everything you want. And you know what? The way that they gap the gear ratios, it doesn't feel like you're in an annoying 10-speed. They just feel normal. Like it doesn't take away from the Mustang at all. And we have, on the straightaway, 170 kilometers an hour with just a breath of throttle. All right, and pitch it in. Woohoo! What a car. What a car. It goes into a slide so predictably because of the diff and the tires that we're on. Oh. All right, this is a stiff car. It feels light, feels well balanced. All right, the steering responds really, really well to the quick inputs when you're in a slide like that. You can feel the rear wheels being responsible with your right foot for what angle the car is at, right? I can adjust the attitude of this car in the corner with the throttle, which means it feels like a really good track car. Front end grip, I'm getting a little, on the tight stuff when I'm not being a hoon with throttle, I'm getting a little bit of understeer that I can feel building, and the front end feels like it just doesn't quite want to turn that tightly, and that's just the size and the weight of the car coming through, right? But the advantage to that is that you can just fix it with the throttle in pretty much any gear. That's fourth gear on and the rear goes on a corner that I usually do in second gear. The steering wheel feels good, nice Napa leather on it. I would like the seats to be more bolstered. It's like they made it for big people. But I'm being held in for the most part. If I was going to use this as specifically a track car, I would most certainly put a racing seat in it. Brakes are very impressive. Big old Brembos on here because of the performance package. So the car stops really aggressively. And you know what I find myself doing? We've got the torque from the V8 is so V8-ish that I find myself in a way higher gear than I need to be, just thumping around the track like this. Right? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in fifth gear and it's going. But you really can't deny with active exhaust like this on the straightaway and that much torque, I'm having a really good time. Turn in, there's the apex, use the throttle, and we are at the exit perfectly. All right, put it this way, this car is not razor sharp. It's definitely not that, but it is impressively well balanced on the track. Okay, you turn in, tiniest little bit of understeer, if at all, use the throttle to kill it, and you just walk through the corner with a lovely slip angle that would make any car guy smile. See? The question is, how does the Stinger stack up? Let's go take it for a drive. All right, traction control completely off. Let's do drive mode, sport, which puts the dampers, the steering, throttle response, everything in sport mode, which means it's louder and better and faster and sharper. After getting out of the Mustang right away, 100% the front end of this car feels smaller and more dainty in a good way. This feels way more European. All right, if that's a thing, if we're following stereotypes, the Mustang feels American and this Kia feels European. Unfortunately, there's no actual manual mode that you can put it in. You just click the paddles and it leaves it in manual for like a minute, which is kind of lame, but we're gonna be shifting enough it doesn't matter.
Power delivery is incredibly smooth. Torque is available so low down. It doesn't feel like the torque of a V8, but it feels like turbocharged torque, and it's good turbocharged torque because it is there immediately. There's essentially nothing that you would consider lag, right? The boost threshold is so low that you're always in it. Yeah, it feels light. Okay, this is like an over 4,000 pound car, and it feels light. That's saying a lot. When a manufacturer is capable of making a car feel light, like it can change direction really quickly, they've done something right. Straight away here, 4th gear, working our way up the revs, braking. Oh, brakes are good. Brembos. 3rd gear, turn in, find the apex. Yep, floats its way out to the exit. I think that the dampers could use to be a little bit tighter. I do have, yep, I have everything in sport. I think the dampers could be a little bit tighter in sport mode. I'm getting a fair amount of body motion, but to be fair, it's not affecting my grip at any point, any corner of the car. All right, low speed, tight stuff like this, how do we feel? You can feel the front end scrabbling for grip, right? We are sending most of the power to the rear now in sport mode. All right, this is like a rear-wheel drive design, right? So it's a longitudinally mounted engine. Yep, she's quick. Yeah, the rear starts to come around. This car naturally oversteers, okay? For an all-wheel drive car, that's a very good thing. That's impressive, Kia, that you are capable of doing that. All right, what I mean by that is at the limit when you turn into the corner, we get a little bit of corner entry oversteer, okay? So the front end grips and the rear starts to come around. If you get on the power, you can do a mini power slide, and eventually the all-wheel drive will pull you out of the corner. All right, so we're getting a little bit, but you know what? Not that much. The all-wheel drive seems to like to pull it through the corner, and I can't really get a lot of angle out of it. However, the car does feel very, very balanced as you go through the corner. Very predictable on throttle. But I wish we could get the rear-wheel drive one in Canada. Come on, Kia. Come on. Please, next generation, give us rear-wheel drive. We need it here. This is a really easy car to drive fast. Everything is just there for you right when you need it. But you know what? While I'm out here, even though we have the exhaust in loud mode, it sounds great outside, we get a very refined version of the exhaust note getting pumped through the speakers. That's fine. Most cars are doing that nowadays because the car is so well insulated, it's very quiet. So we have to pump some exhaust noise through, or we're not going to get any real sound. But you know what? In here feels sophisticated and feels tight. Okay, the interior of this car is excellent. It is better than the Mustang. I got roasted for saying Mustang interiors were bad when I did the GT350 versus M2 video. Sorry, but they are. If you compare them to European cars, or this Stinger apparently, they don't feel anywhere close. They're nice, don't get me wrong, but they're not at the level. Stop telling me that they are. I feel like this Stinger is kind of like a working class dude that threw on a really nice suit and is blending in perfectly to a really expensive party. Steering is good. We have very obvious weight through the corners here, okay? I can tell what the front end is doing. There's a little bit of numbness as you approach the limit, but it's not really anything that's going to make this car difficult to drive, right? Some cars are like, I can't find my grip. I don't know how to turn in or where to turn in. It's not that. Weight builds in the front, and I can feel those front tires starting to lose grip or regain grip based on where I am on the throttle. That's a good thing. This car's gonna set a pretty good lap time. I genuinely do not know which one of these cars is going to be faster because this Stinger is capable of getting out of the corners really, really quickly. All right, with the all-wheel drive and the torque available that instantaneously, it hauls itself out of the corner. All right, watch. 3rd gear, turn in. I'm on the power. Oh, building, down. 2nd gear, turn in. Building speed already. A little bit of understeer, under throttle there. But there's the power. Woo! And through here, natural oversteer on the turn in. Right down to 2nd gear. Coming around the last corner at Toronto Motorsports Park. And we're getting on the throttle early because I'm not afraid of this thing. straightaway, third gear, and fourth gear, 150 kilometers an hour, 160 kilometers an hour, 165. Easy, easy.
Both of these cars were truly good times on the track, but I was dying to see which one was actually faster because honestly I couldn't tell. I handed the keys over to Colin Casey, who being a time attack driver, an autocross champion, and an owner of the Pinnacle Advanced Driving Academy is the most qualified person I know to set a fast lap time. Now this season we're doing things a bit differently. You can watch the highlights of Colin's laps here, but if you want to really delve into the data, head over to thethrottlehouse.com and check out the full set of race chrono data. There will be a link in the description. Now sit back and enjoy. The Stinger is an easy car to drive fast, and you can see Colin here diving into the corner, being careful to keep the weight over the front tires. The Michelins and the brakes in the Stinger seemed to overheat, so Colin could only do a couple of hot laps at a time, but he was able to drive this car as if it was rear-wheel drive. Now it's the Mustang's turn. Without a doubt, the Mustang is much more of a handful, but if you know what you're doing, you can really use the car's playful attitude to get it turned through the tight stuff. That said, the Stinger was able to get the power down very effectively because of the all-wheel drive. It was really coming down to the way that Colin could tame the Mustang and use it to his advantage.
So, there you have it. The Stinger won the drag race and the Mustang absolutely smoked it on the track. I mean...
As you predicted in the quarter mile,
yeah.
That's your black magic sorcery. Yes.
Do you mean all-wheel drive?
Like I said, black magic sorcery.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so realistically, the Mustang just couldn't put the power down, right?
It simply couldn't. No, it couldn't do the same as the Stinger. Couldn't, unfortunately. All-wheel drive.
Ha! I knew it! Yes!
Lap times. Mustang, V8.
Yes, okay. The Mustang did win the lap times without a question, like by a large margin.
It did.
Right? It's amazing for a car that won in a straight line, lost so badly on the lap times. It's just like, why? The Mustang was just more track focused.
The Mustang, you could play with it a bit more in the corners. I could use the DMX the car. The biggest difference was the MagneRide suspension in that Mustang.
It actually, yeah, it was excellent.
It's quite good suspension.
Excellent,
that made
yes.
a difference in the corners
Absolutely.
for sure. And a tight technical course like this,
yeah.
Horsepower does matter, but not as much as handling on this course.
Right. However, the Stinger did feel rear-wheel drive when we're talking about handling. That is amazing for that car.
Yeah, it's
honestly, it really, yeah. Do we like the Stinger?
I actually like the Stinger a lot.
Which one would you own?
Depends what you want to do. If it's a track-only car, the Mustang for sure.
Yeah.
If it's my daily end sort of toy, the Stinger for sure. It's fast, it's comfortable, it's still fun to drive actually, which is the most surprising thing of the day for me. And yeah, so I'd say if it's an overall car, the Stinger for sure. Track toy, Mustang for sure.
I agree.
Yep.
Thanks for watching.
Subscribe.